Greetings of health and wellness. Is my audio clear? I think we have 76 and counting participants here in Zoom. You may use the chat box if my um, uh, audio is clear. Is my audio clear? Greetings, everyone. Is my audio clear? I think this question goes to our 78 and counting participants on our webinar this morning. Can you hear me? I guess I'm very loud and clear. Thank you. Thank you po, Nurse Beck. So, greetings of health and wellness, everyone, and welcome to Health Futures Foundation Incorporated's second part of the free long COVID webinar series. And this is Clearing the Cloud and the Holistic Interventions for Post-COVID Brain Fog. Ready na ho ba kayong matuto kung ano po ba itong brain fog, no? And what are the holistic interventions that we can do if we have it, no? I am Nurse Natalie David, and I will be your facilitator for this webinar. This morning, we have a lot of people joining us today who are diagnosed with long COVID. Some are probable long COVID patients, family members of a long COVID patient, and health professionals. And from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for spending your Thursday morning with us. And magandang umaga po sa atin din pong lahat. So, I'd be giving you the webinar reminders. We are glad to have all of you here this morning. But before we start, I would like to remind everyone to utilize yung ating pong Zoom question and answer feature for the questions. Selected questions will be addressed during our open forum, and use the chat box for your comments. And lastly, we value your feedback, so please po, accomplish our evaluation form within 24 hours after the webinar. But don't you worry, because e-certificates will also be provided to Zoom attendees who will stay throughout the program. And of course, by accomplishing the short evaluation form, which will be sent towards the end of the program. Maraming salamat po. So without further ado, I'd like to call on Dr. Cora de Los Angeles Anuevo, President of Health Futures Foundation Incorporated, to give the welcoming remarks. Doc? I think we'll be waiting for Doctora for the welcome remarks. But once again, I think they're able to make use of the chat box already. So while we're waiting for Doctora, we'll be announcing also that this webinar series will be shown, is currently showing on Facebook. Wag ho kayong mag-alala, we'll be getting also your questions on the comment section if you weren't able to register, no, sa ating pong Zoom. And of course, the value of sharing it also to your friends, to your family, because all of us actually are going to learn from all of this. Ayan. And of course, we are thankful to Health Futures Foundation for this webinar series. I know there are a lot of webinar series done sa atin din pong digital world, but right now it would be good, no, to learn more about what we have gone through, no, for those years and years that we had this pandemic. And I think the first series was about the long COVID story, no? What are the signs and symptoms? What are the new studies regarding it? And what can we do, no, para din ho mabattle? And I think for the last part sa ating question and answer on our previous, the first series nga po natin, ano, is on how to have a long COVID group of people, no, can share their ideas or even support each other. Long COVID support group, no, na I think we should have on our social medias as well. Okay, so I think Doctora is ready na for our opening remarks. We'll check if the audio is good. And I think some of our attendees are saying that our chat box is disabled. No?
Good noon to all the webinar.
Ayan. Okay. Ready na?
Okay, but once again, without further ado, calling our Doctora Cora de Los Angeles and Nuevo, the president of Health Futures Foundation Incorporated, to give the welcoming remarks. Thank you, Doc.
Good noon to all the webinar participants. Today's topic is a continuation of HFI's webinar series on long COVID. Brain fog, is it a medical or scientific term? I learned from a friend who was hospitalized and admitted in the ICU as a COVID patient. And thank God she survived. That she had this feeling of parang makakalimutin at mabagal mag-isip na dati naman ay hindi siya ganun. She's still struggling. She doesn't feel that her thinking and memory are back to normal. I have invited two exciting speakers who will dwell on this topic. We designed this webinar to, one, spread awareness on long COVID and how brain fog is one of its most common symptoms. Two, impart and increase knowledge on how COVID affects cognitive function. Three, provide holistic and self-help interventions to address post-COVID brain fog. And four, cultivate empathy and compassion for those experiencing post-COVID brain fog. Mahalaga itong number 4 dahil kailangan nila ng palinga, pangunawa, tiyaga at pagmamahal. The first speaker is Ms. Roberta Sare. Ms. Robbie will share her first-hand experience with brain fog as a patient. She contracted COVID 3 times, the last one in September this year. Robbie has been with HFI since 2020 as an administrative and finance assistant. Our second resource speaker is Dr. Bernardino Vergara, a preventive and integrative medicine specialist and certified associate medical acupuncturist. She is a staunch advocate of holistic health and wellness approaches in medicine. Dr. Vergara joined Health Futures Foundation in 2013 to further champion her advocacy for promoting health and wellness in Filipino communities. The discussion hopes to enlighten us as to why some people experience problems with thinking and memory after COVID-19 and to be more understanding and patient about their situation. On behalf of the Health Futures Foundation Incorporated, I warmly welcome you to this webinar. We urge you to participate during the open forum, ask questions, and give your reactions and comments. Have a productive day to all.
Thank you so much, Dr. Cora, for the welcome speech. And to start the discussion about brain fog, let us all welcome our first speaker, Ms. Maria Roberta or Robbie Sare, who will share her post-COVID brain fog story. Ms. Maria Roberta Sare earned her degree in business entrepreneurship from San Beda University in 2017, and she is currently the admin and finance assistant of Health Futures Foundation Incorporated and a member of the team that is handling the organization's multi-awarded banner project called Alay sa Ginhawa at Kalusugan or Alaga Ka. Today, she will be sharing with us her COVID journey and how post-COVID recovery affected her. Ms. Robbie.
Hello and good afternoon, everyone. And thank you, Miss Natalie, for the introduction and to HFI for having me. I am Robbie Sare and I am here to share with you my experiences and challenges in having brain fog. But to start, let me share about myself pre-COVID-19. Dati sobrang talas ng memory ako. Lagi pa nga ako sinasabihan ng pinsan ko na para akong phone reminder dahil ako mismo nagre-remind sa kanya kung anong mga dapat niyang gawin kapag nag-e-errands kami. Sa work nun, I can say na very productive ako at sobrang akong mabilis pumick up ng instruction. Masipag ako mag-work nun. Kahit gabi na nga, active pa rin ako. March 2020, yung pinakaunang beses ko nagkaroon ng COVID-19. Ang mga symptoms ko noon, loss of taste and smell, high fever, and massive headache. Nung time na yun, grabing stress and anxiety ko. Kasi that time, my whole family got infected by COVID. And my parents at that time were in the hospital. Doon rin lumala yung insomnia to the point na 2 to 3 hours lang yung tulog ko. Noong July 2021, I got infected by my second virus. I think my second virus was called Omicron. Hindi siya ganun kalala and a few days lang, gumaling na agad ako. Pero this time, after recovering from that, napansin ko, laging sumasakit yung ulo ko. And kahit nakakatulog naman ako ng maayos, parang paggising ko, pagod na pagod yung utak ko. And yung mentally parang exhausted. Isa pa sa napansin ko is madalas akong nalulutang and madalas rin akong tulala. Dito ko rin napansin, especially at work, na I tend to forget a lot of instruction. Parang kakasabi lang sa akin, nawawala na agad sa isip ko. And I often get confused on how to do some simple task. But to solve all that, lagi na lang ako nagdadala ng pen, paper, and recorder para at least may mabacktrack ako. And bago ko simulan yung araw ko at work, I made sure na ililista ko na lang siya para kapag may time na may nakalimutan ako, may mababalikan ako. Then, alam niyo parang minsan, alam ko naman yung gagawin ko for that day, pero may times pa rin na I am lost and confused talaga. Nako-confuse ako sa dapat process yung na gagawin ko. Na I have to look at my list several times. Dahil nga rin na I have those massive headaches up until now, napansin ko rin na yung productivity ko at work, mas na-lessen siya. Kung dati kahit gabi, active ako sa work, lately, after working hours, I just want to sleep and relax. Kasi parang, ang napansin ko, kapag relax ako, it helps lessen the headache and yung brain fog. Noong September 2022, na-infect ulit ako ng COVID. O diba, not just once, not just twice, but naka-thrice pa. na-complete ko na yung mga variants. But yung COVID-3 ko was the most, for me, the worst experience. I had a hard time sleeping. Ilang days rin akong may high fever. I got chills and I hallucinate at night. Yung COVID-3 ko rin, I wasn't able to breathe properly dahil nga of my cough and baradong ilong. After recovering from COVID-3, my concentration at work and yung daily life routine ko rin, parang nagulo siya. It was not okay. I get easily distracted to the point na where my boss told me to focus. I almost sent an email nga na important email yun to a wrong person. But buti na lang I checked it thrice before sending it. Kasi kung hindi, mortal sin talaga. And napansin ko, mas madalas akong natutulala. And ayun nga, sabog. Even my very patient supervisor would always explain an instruction to me 2 to 3 times because sometimes hindi ko talaga siya makuha or hindi ko siya maintindihan. In my mind, parang ano yung sinasabi niya? Alam kong napakasimple lang nun. I mean, madaling intindihin, pero hindi ko talaga siya makuha. Parang, alam niyo yung brain ko, para siyang naglalag. Then, after pausing for 5, sabihin na natin 5 to 10 minutes, maya-maya, parang habang nire-rewind ko yung sinabi ng supervisor ko, parang paunti-unti ko siya naiintindihan. There are multiple times na during a conversation, I can't remember what I was supposed to say next. My best friend would always laugh at me, and because nakikita nga niya yung confusion sa face ko. There were also a few times na in the middle of the night, habang natutulog ako, magigising na lang ako na doon ko lang matatandaan na I paid for my jeepney fare twice that day. Ang lala. Pero ayun na nga, having brain fog really stressed me out and increased my anxiety then. It makes me forget my social media password and ayun nga, ilang beses ako nakapagpalit ng Facebook account ko. Then yung mga pin codes ko sa ATM rin, nakalimutan ko na rin sila. Hindi ko talaga sila maalala. But sa work naman, masasabi ko may improvements ako kasi bago ako mag-send ngayon ng email, nag-check na ako not just once, but thrice talaga. And pinapacheck ko na rin siya sa mga coworkers ko bago ko rin siya i-send para sure na sure tayo. And rather than feel, kasi pag may brain fog ka, nakaka-frustrate eh. Kasi kung dati hindi ka ganun, tapos biglang mapapansin mo sa sarili mo na, ba't ganun? Ang bilis ko makalimot, di ba? Parang there's something wrong with me. Nakaka-frustrate talaga siya. But rather than complaining, parang thankful na lang ako to my family, to my supervisors, to my boss, na they are trying to understand me. And kung sinasabi ko na lang sa sarili ko na I don't have to be hard on myself because being hard on myself will not help me with anything. Na yung minsan kasi parang nakaka-frustrate na hindi mo matandaan agad-agad, like hindi ka makapick up ng instruction. Di ba nakaka-frustrate yun? Pero lately, I'm trying to improve my mindset na frustration and being stressed won't help me with anything. So, what I do is I pause for 5 to 10 minutes to reassess my thoughts, and lagi ko na lang sinasabi, kunyari, may questions or may hindi ako matandaan. Sinasabihan ko na lang na babalikan ko po kayo, gano'n. Then, right now rin, I am still in the process of working on myself kasi hindi mo pwedeng excuse rin na i-excuse na kasi may brain fog ako. Pero hindi ko matandaan eh. Parang gagawin mo siyang excuse. Parang I'm still trying to improve on working on myself on how to improve. Then, yun na nga, ang ginawa ko is I joined a long COVID support group to better understand myself. Ayun, nakatulong naman siya. So lahat sa mga may long COVID symptoms dyan, I highly recommend you to join a long COVID support group because it will help you a lot. I joined last week, and pagkatapos ko marinig yung mga kwento ng mga co-members dun sa long COVID support group, medyo na-relief ako na hindi pala ako nag-iisa, meron pa pala mas palala. And dun ko lang na-realize na iba-iba pala yung atake ni COVID. Depende sa katawan ng tao, siguro sa age ng tao. As in, nakatulong siya in terms of information. Emotionally, nakatulong siya sa akin rin kasi parang na-feel ko na may emotional support galing dun sa members na may mapagsasabihan ka ng mga frustrations mo and yung experience mo na matatawa ka rin minsan kasi na-experience niya rin yun. Nagulat nga ako. Parang yung iba ang lala talaga na nakakatuwa lang na you feel you belong to that group. Parang ganun. And kasi I know na some people are not aware na may long COVID symptoms. And yung iba nga sinasabi arte-arte lang yan or excuse lang yan. But really, long COVID is true. Kaya nga, I'm also thankful to HFI na nagkaroon sila ng mga webinars to spread awareness regarding long COVID symptoms. Kasi napansin ko maraming hindi nakakaalam na meron palang tinatawag na long COVID. Another discovery is and masasabi ko na rin na tips ko sa mga tulad ko na may long COVID symptoms is to search for possible ways to improve yourself. Like for me, ako more on memory loss eh. So I find parang naghahanap ako ng mga ways to improve my memory, like meron namang mga apps sa cellphone like memory games, ganyan. Like find a cure to answer to your complications. Consult your doctors, ganun po. And always remember na hindi kayo nag-iisa. Don't be hard on yourself and don't give up on yourself. As for me, I hope to get more answers through this webinar. Ayun po. Thank you and stay safe, everyone.
Thank you so much, Miss Robbie. That was really quite an experience, and I can see, no, some of our participants commenting, no, that they also felt the same. And what is good, no, about this webinar series, of course, is we will find out, no, what are the interventions do we need to do to battle brain fog. So that it was mentioned, no, massive headache, the need to sleep, and even not having or yung feeling that you should sleep. Also, words mentioned like lutang, sabog, or sabaw, no? Right now, we can tag this on brain fog nga ba? Or this could be a sign of memory loss or maybe just exhaustion, no? We will really find out when we are going to invite, no, our next speaker. Once again, thank you, Miss Robbie, for the very relatable narration of your brain fog story. And to start the discussion about holistic interventions for post-COVID brain fog, let us all welcome our speaker, Dr. Frances Vera Bernardino Vergara. Dr. Bernardino Vergara is a preventive and integrative medicine specialist and a certified associate medical acupuncturist. She is an advocate of holistic health and wellness approaches in medicine. Dr. Bernardino Vergara joined Health Futures Foundation in 2013 to further champion her advocacy in promoting health and wellness in Filipino communities. And she is one of the volunteer doctors in HFI's Tindog Summer Program, a post-Hyan integrated non-communicable disease prevention and control program that focuses on strengthening health systems in the province of Eastern Samar after the ravaging effects of Super Typhoon Yolanda. Specializing in acupuncture and traditional Chinese healing, our next speaker, or traditional Chinese healing methods, Dr. Bernardino Vergara completed her basic training in acupuncture in La Consolacion, Manila, advanced training in Beijing International Acupuncture Center in China. And she also completed her training in National Acupuncture Detoxification Association as an acupuncture detoxification specialist to promote holistic healing and wellness methods in the Philippines. She is also one of the founders and currently the managing director or the managing partner and medical consultant of Centro Holistico Integrative Health and Wellness in 2014. Centro Holistico is a medical wellness center that provides safe, complementary, and alternative medical treatments. Today, Dr. Bernardino Vergara will discuss the holistic interventions to post-COVID brain fog and to help us further understand what brain fog is and what we can do about it. Please welcome once again Dr. Bernardino Vergara. Doc Fran, good morning and thank you.
Hello, good morning. Nako, thank you, Natalie, for the introduction. Maraming salamat sa HFI for this opportunity na ma-share ko on a very important topic, and it's still a very relevant topic. So unfortunately, nandyan pa rin si COVID, hindi pa rin siya umaalis. Pero ito, no, sama-sama tayo magtutulungan para mas maintindihan natin, mas malaman natin kung ano yung mga pwede pa nating gawin para sama-sama tayong mag-recover, tsaka sama-sama nating malampasan itong si COVID-19. Magti-2023 na. Oh, so 'di ba parang dapat parang COVID 2023. Sige. So now the topic is holistic interventions for post-COVID brain fog. Sige, next. Okay. Feeling ko kanina nung nakikinig ako kay Robbie, parang feeling ko at some point parang siyang patient na nagko-consult sa akin na gusto ko mag-engage sa kanya, pero sabi ko, sige, para sa'yo tong lecture na to, Robbie, tsaka para dun sa lahat, no, part nung long COVID support group na maraming complications na nararamdaman na-develop from having COVID. Minsan, hindi lang isang beses, hindi dalawang beses, pero yun, in Robbie's case, talagang nakatatlong beses pa siya. Sa amin din, in my own family, no, halos lahat din kami naapektuhan na ng COVID. Pero thankfully naman, we experienced it not so severe. We were all able to manage it at home. Thankfully, wala namang na-hospitalized. And siguro somewhere along this lecture, matututunan niyo yung mga ways kung paano siya ma-combat, kung paano hindi magiging masyadong severe or hindi ka magde-develop ng complications kung sakali man na magkaroon ng COVID. Kasi yan nga, sinasabi nila na, it's actually inevitable. Parang at some point, lahat tayo magkakaroon ng COVID. I mean, that's just how a virus works, no? In general, talagang mabilis kumalat, halos lahat na apektuhan. So hopefully pagkatapos nitong lecture na ito, we will be more equipped. Mas marami tayong tools na magagamit para matulungan tayo to fully heal, to fully recover from COVID. Sige, let's start. Okay, so just a review on what brain fog is, tsaka kung paano siya related sa COVID-19. Sige. So yun, as all of you might probably have heard, brain fog is a result of low or compromised oxygen supply to the brain. And inflammation anywhere along the process of thought and mood formation. So basically, inflammation kahit saan sa brain, tsaka sa spinal cord, kasi yan yung dalawang components ng central nervous system natin, diba? But other causes of brain fog may include impaired glucose control or diabetes, nutrient deficiencies, stroke, chronic fatigue syndrome, even medications for chronic conditions. So if you're undergoing chemotherapy or if you have medications for anxiety or depression. But what I want to focus on here is the word inflammation. Okay. So what do you call it? So it is mainly inflammation that is thought to perpetuate the effects of long COVID. So magsisimula siya, no? The viral infection stimulates the inflammatory pathways. So kung narinig niyo na siguro sa ibang webinar or sa ibang lecture, na yung isa sa pinaka parang pathophysiology ng COVID. So pag nag-hit yung virus sa'yo, nagsistimulate siya ng cytokine storm. So actually, itong cytokine storm na to, cytokines are inflammatory cells, no? So yung cytokine storm, ito yung sinasabi na parang will cause severe COVID, na ito yung mga na napupunta sa hospital, na ICU. And unfortunately, sometimes talagang yun, hindi nagsusurvive. Okay, so yun. So the viral infection stimulates the inflammatory pathways of the immune system. Pero kahit natapos na yung infection, after the infection has long resolved, nandun pa rin yung inflammation because it is prolonged by multiple other factors, no? So, ano itong mga factors na to? It could be other comorbidities. So, yun nga, kung halimbawa pre-COVID, meron ka ng ibang mga sakit, meron kang hypertension or diabetes, or meron kang respiratory condition, asthma, no? Yun, parang kumbaga, yun yung magpro-prolong na continuous pa rin yung inflammation sa loob ng katawan natin. So kahit natapos na yung virus, kahit na fully recovered ka na from the virus, patuloy pa rin na parang nandun pa rin yung inflammatory processes sa loob ng katawan natin. So yung focus actually ng lecture natin ngayon, ano ba itong mga nagpo-perpetuate? So pag sinabi natin perpetuate, parang yung nagtutuloy-tuloy lang siya kahit na wala ka ng sakit or wala ka ng COVID-19. So mainly, ang nakikita sa research talaga, poor nutrition, low energy production, which is, we'll talk about the mitochondria later, tsaka insufficient sleep. So ito yung tatlong very important that I will touch on today. Na dito tayo pwedeng maraming gawin, no? Pwede tayong maraming parang what you call this, self-help para mas mabilis yung recovery natin, mas mabilis tayong mawawala yung symptoms ng brain fog, tsaka kung ano pa man yung ibang, hindi lang brain fog, yung iba pang complications ng COVID. Tsaka just to, parang bago tayo mag-move on dito sa slide na to, kung titingnan nyo yung other causes of brain fog, talagang bottom line, medyo common denominator sa kanila yung inflammation. So ngayon, no, in my practice, preventive and integrative medicine, talagang ito yung tinitignan namin or dito kami nakafocus when we talk about management, when we talk about recommending treatments and supplements and lifestyle changes to patients. Ito talaga yung gusto nating i-address. Talagang inflammation, inflammatory conditions, yung medyo nagiging root cause, yung nakikita natin or parang nagiging evident na rin siya sa mga research na talagang inflammation is the root cause of almost, hindi naman lahat, pero halos lahat ng mga lifestyle disease. Meaning, yung hindi naman natin, hindi genetic, so hindi siya congenital, hindi natin siya dala-dala simula nung pinanganak tayo or pagkabata natin. So most of the time naman kasi talaga, lahat ng na-acquire natin na health conditions natin, yun yung nakikita ngayon. Talagang, ayan, sikat na siya, inflammation. Okay, next. Sige, so just some of the symptoms of brain fog, tas dun sa sharing ni Robbie, parang lahat yata to na-check niya din. And siguro some of you will be able to relate to this. So yan nga, poor concentration, lack of mental clarity, diminished speed of thought, forgetfulness, confusion, and the inability to multitask. Okay, next. Sige. So ito yung evidence natin ngayon for post-COVID-19 and brain fog. So in the WHO guidelines for the management of COVID-19, long COVID is actually already included in the International Code of Disease as post-COVID-19 condition. So actually, meron na siyang pangalan dun sa ICD, yung parang international manual, na nakalista doon lahat ng diseases. Na from time, parang from the start of civilization, ganyan. Parang doon na nakalagay, naka-record lahat ng mga diagnosis, yung mga formal diagnosis. Yun. So meron na siyang, so like yung sharing ni Robbie kanina na, or kung meron man sa inyo na parang nakaka-feel or parang syempre nasasaktan pag sinasabi na, ay, joke lang yan or parang excuse lang yan, hindi naman talaga, ganyan. Yan. Pero nyo na sila sagutin na, hindi. Nasa ICD code, na siya, manual na siya. Meron na siyang sariling, space niya doon. Okay. So ito, in a meta-analysis of 27 studies, it was found that post-COVID-19, meaning pag nanggaling ka sa infection, there is a higher probability of cognitive dysfunction. So meaning, cognitive dysfunction just means, yan nga, yung mga symptoms na sinabi ko kanina, anything na parang nag-iba, nag-iiba dun sa cognition mo, dun sa function ng brain. So the higher probability of cognitive dysfunction and lower general cognition compared to healthy controls for up to 7 months post-infection. So siguro yung iba sa atin, yung iba sa inyo, yan nga, baka lumampas pa ng 7 months, diba? So yun, pero ito yung nakita dun sa research. Next. Okay, so ito pa yung ibang research. Yun. And another meta-analysis of cohort studies, so ito, being female, having comorbidities prior to COVID infection, like mental health issues, if you have respiratory conditions, and overweight or being obese, so lahat to nakita nila na mas nagiging mataas yung risk for developing long COVID kapag nandyan ka sa population na yan. So medyo yun, parang malas naman nating mga babae talaga, di ba? So, but anyway, pero yun, I'm in my further research and in my analysis, I think kaya female, because in general, females compared to males, mas medyo may propensity tayo for storing fat. So in general, mas marami tayong fat cells. So mas may propensity for being overweight, for being obese, madaya. Mas maganda yung, in general, mas maganda yung metabolism ng mga lalaki. So, yan. Suerte sila dyan. Okay, so moving on, another cohort study concluded that neurological and psychological diagnoses are more common in those who had severe COVID-19. So, yung definition nila ng severe would be yung kung na-hospitalize ka, kung na-admit ka sa intensive care, or if during the course of your COVID, you actually had evidence of brain injury. So, in general, this is called encephalopathy, no? So, yan yung mga, kung nagkaroon ka ng delirium, kung nagkaroon ka ng hallucinations, yan, some of those things. Okay. So, and then, of all the long COVID symptoms that are more commonly reported, so, ito yung nung nag-analyze na sila ng kinumbine-combine nila yung maraming research. So, ito yung more commonly reported symptoms of long COVID. So, you have their fatigue, difficulty of breathing, cough, sleep problems, anxiety, depression, cognitive impairments, and concentration problems. Sa lahat ng yan, nakita nila na yung fatigue tsaka yung concentration problems, yun yung pinaka nagtatagal. Yun yung pinaka parang, yun nga, no? So, nag-extend beyond 12 weeks. So, yan yung nakita sa research. This is from the WHO Clinical Management Manual. Okay, next. Tapos just to validate these findings, in another study published in the Journal of Medical Virology, this Fars is a province somewhere in Iran. So 2,696 patients between the ages of 18 to 55 years old were monitored 3 months post-infection. Tapos yung conclusion dyan, post-COVID brain fog is associated, ganun din, parang it's a validation of the other studies. Pero this one in particular, they zeroed in or specific sila dun sa post-COVID brain fog. Is associated with, again, the female sex, respiratory problems at the onset. So, ibig sabihin yung nagsimula yung COVID infection mo, yun, nagkaroon ka ng respiratory difficulties. So, yan yung nag-fluctuate yung, tingnan mo, parang nag-brain fog ako ngayon, sorry. Nag-fluctuate yung pulse, oxygen saturation, oh my gosh, sorry, oxygen saturation, yan yung mga some of the signs na may nagkakaroon ng respiratory difficulty. So kapag meron ganyan, babae ka, and yun nga, medyo severe yung naging course mo for COVID, yung mga na-admit sa ICU, yan. So ikaw yung highly likely mag-develop ng brain fog. This is published in a journal. Okay, next. Okay. Pero, sige. So, pupunta na tayo sa good news. So, ang good news naman, sige, i-claim na natin, walang forever. Walang forever sa long COVID. So, lahat tayo magre-recover, lahat tayo, babalik sa normal natin. Pero may malaking pero yun nga, we kind of have to put in the work, no? Medyo kailangan i-effortan natin siya sa mga interventions na i-discuss natin dito ngayon. Kasi it will take a certain amount of discipline tsaka yung motivation natin, di ba? So ako, when I see patients, lagi kong tinatanong sa kanila, or lagi kong parang sinasabi ko sa kanila na ano yung motivation mo? Kailangan malakas yung motivation mo, parang strong enough para, kasi medyo marami tayong trabahong gagawin, marami kang medyo kailangan changes na gagawin sa lifestyle, no, sa diet, no. Ang favorite na hindi pag-usapan ng mga patient ang diet. So yun, no, so parang talking about motivation, talking about their goals, no. So yan yung what I want you guys to keep in mind also, no, as we go through, as we discuss holistic interventions para mas mabilis tayong maka-recover, para mas mabilis tayong mag-heal dito sa long COVID syndrome na tinatawag. Okay, sige, the gut-brain connection. I'm sure all of you are familiar also with this, no? So, pero for those of you who are not familiar, just a quick background. Okay. So, yan na nga. For of all the interventions I will be discussing today, I will spend some time on what I believe will largely determine how fast or how slow a patient will recover from post-COVID brain fog. So, okay, let's go to the gut-brain connection. As we all know, our brain, our spinal cord make up the central nervous system. Pero ang hindi pa alam ng lahat, but siguro kayo, yung iba sa inyo narinig na rin, we have what we call our enteric nervous system. No? So our enteric nervous system is what is called the brain in the gut, our little brain. And it is composed of more than 100 million cells in the walls of the digestive tract, all the way running from the esophagus all the way to the rectum. Diba? So, sige. And yan nga, no? There's a growing body of research looking into this little brain, no? Dito nakafocus ngayon yung research and how it drives, no? How it apparently drives a lot of our lifestyle diseases and a lot of our parang conditions are our comorbidities. Okay, next. So the gut-brain axis, no? It's a two-way communication that links the emotional and cognitive centers of the brain with peripheral intestinal functions. So yun lang, yun yung sinasabi na it's connected from yung brain natin, connected siya sa gut natin. For the longest time, we've been taught that digestive symptoms associated with brain dysfunction are but a consequence of the hormonal imbalances in the brain. So, di ba, parang for the longest time, napapaniwala tayo na kapag meron kang something, a mental health condition or a brain dysfunction, tapos, yun nga, di ba, may mga related symptoms siya na parang biglang, yun na, meron kang mga gastrointestinal symptoms na laging parang masakit tiyan, bloated, ganyan, or kung ano pa man yung ibang nararamdaman natin, parang sinasabi lang palagi na, hindi yan dahil yan dun sa imbalance, no? Dahil yan dun sa imbalance ng neurotransmitter sa brain, kaya nagkakaroon ka ng physical symptoms, mostly in the digestive area. But yan nga, there's now a growing body of evidence that shows the reverse, that actually any gut dysfunction or any problems in your digestive system have consequences on our mental and emotional health. So pwedeng dito, pwedeng sa tiyan, pwedeng sa digestive system nagsisimula. Kaya pala tayo nagkakaroon ng mental health disorders, ng anxiety, ng depression, ng parang confusion, poor concentration, and all that. So parang nakikita nila ngayon na pwede palang the other way around. Sige. So let's start with the first and maybe the more important intervention for reversing brain fog. Ito na nga yung sinasabi ko, yung mahilig hindi pag-usapan ng mga patients. Food, diba? Food and supplements that prevent mood disorders, no? That will prevent mood disorders, will increase our energy production and promote better sleep. Okay, next. Okay. So, ayan. So, ito rin, familiar siguro tayo dito, no? Yung feel-good hormones natin. Dopamine, which is responsible for the feelings of pleasure and reward. Endorphins, which are called natural painkillers. Tapos yung oxytocin, yung sinasabing love hormone. So, yung oxytocin, yun yung nare-release ng katawan ng women. Pero, it's also released in males, no? Pero this is known for yung pag nanganganak. 'Di ba, pag nanganganak yung babae, ito yung parang bonding hormone between mother and child, no? To stimulate milk production and parang will initiate yung mother-child bonding. Pero hindi tayo dyan mag-focus. Ang focus ng discussion natin ngayon, yung serotonin, no? Serotonin is the hormone that is primarily responsible for mood regulation. So do you know that 90 to 95% of serotonin, no, the hormone responsible for mood regulation, is actually produced, in the gut. So yan siya, 'di ba? 90 to 95%. O, kami rin new learning. I mean, you know, this was never taught to us in med school, no? It was all these hormones, especially serotonin, was always in relation with the brain function, no, but never, you know, it was never discussed na may na-produce pala na serotonin dun sa ano natin, sa digestive tract. So, yun, no? So, therefore, no, therefore, kung 90 to 95% ng serotonin ay na-produce sa ating gut, a healthier diet really makes sense, di ba? So, yung cleaner, healthier diet, it really makes a difference for people suffering from anxiety and depression. Which ang anxiety and depression is mainly driven by a deficiency in serotonin. So, yan, yung mga meds na binibigay for anxiety and depression, ang tawag dyan, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. So, in other words, in simple terms, prevent niya, kumbaga, it lets the serotonin stay in your system for a longer period of time. So, yan yung purpose ng mga gamot na binibigay for anxiety and depression. Pero yun naman pala, kung 90 to 95% nandyan sa gut natin, diba? So, ano yung pinaka-best way para mag-increase yung serotonin production natin para ma-combat natin itong mga conditions na ito. So, yun. Based on evidence, ito yung mga essential nutrients to combat depression. Meaning to increase the serotonin. Next, Patricia. Sorry. Okay, so ito, based on evidence, these are the essential nutrients to combat depression. Also, ayan, folate, iron, omega-3, lahat yan narinig na siguro natin. I'm sure lahat tayo nagbabasa. Diba, the internet is full of talagang yan na yung library of information natin ngayon eh. Sometimes good, sometimes not so good. Pero we should still be discerning sa lahat ng nababasa rin natin, di ba? Pero ito, based on evidence, these are the vitamins and minerals that are essential for you to be able to produce the right amount of serotonin, yan nga, to prevent these mood disorders. Diba? Pero hindi lang mood disorders kailangan ng serotonin. Later, you will find out na it also plays a big role in giving you good sleep. No? Yung sa tulog, very important din siya. Okay, so itong list of nutrients na to, they are highest in seafood. Hindi ito yung complete list, pero pinit out ko lang. They're highest in seafood, tsaka yung mga laman loob. So these are called organ meats. So liver, heart, kidney, lungs, ganyan. And then for the leafy greens, peppers, and cruciferous vegetables. So yung cruciferous vegetables, yan yung mga broccoli, cauliflower, kale, no, yan. There's a whole list. And ito, based on evidence na ito. And nakita nila na ang best type of diet, diba, ang dami na nating narinig na iba-ibang klaseng diet. But the best type of diet, and there's a lot of evidence for this now, next slide, is the Mediterranean diet. Okay, so recent clinical trials show positive findings on the improvement of depressive symptoms and remission rates under a healthy diet regimen. In 2020, a review of literature based on 37 studies confirmed an association between polyphenols consumption and depression risk, as well as a reduction of depressive symptom severity. So polyphenols, ano ba ito? Very scientific sounding. Polyphenols are naturally occurring organic compounds that are the highest in plants and plant-based foods. Also, some of the examples would be berries, nuts, seeds, diba? Olives, olive oil, yan, mga gulay, broccoli, spinach, carrots, coffee, tea, no? Soy products, beans, no? Yan. These are some of the highest, parang where polyphenols are highest. So yun, ang keyword dito, yung plants, tsaka plant-based foods. Yan na. Baka marami ng mag-sign out. Parang, talaga ba kailangan maging vegetarian or vegan? Hindi naman. Sige, next. Okay, so here's ito lang, no? It's a visual representation. So yan, makikita nyo dyan. So nakalagay dun sa taas, eat more. So ito yung siguro sa, when we do our plating or, pag kumakain tayo, let's be more conscious na mas marami ng mga ganitong foods, no? So the Mediterranean diet is composed mainly of lean, minimally processed protein. Minimally processed protein, meaning yung parang ibig sabihin yung mukha pa siyang chicken, mukha pa siyang beef, mukha pa siyang pork, ganyan. Pag sinabing processed kasi yan na yung ginagawa na natin silang mga burger patties or ginagawa na natin silang chicken nuggets, yan, ganyan. So pag hindi na siya close to form, yung parang real animal form niya, ayan, then it means it's more processed. So, okay, the Mediterranean diet, no? Lean, minimally processed protein, whole grains, complex carbohydrates, meaning unprocessed, no? Yun. Pag sinabi natin whole and complex carbohydrates, yan yung, ito dito sa list natin, no? Nandiyan yung mga quinoa, yan yung mga wild rice, yung mga red rice, no? Hindi kasama dyan yung white rice, yan. Because these are the complex carbohydrates that are very high in fiber. And fiber is really one of the, sabihin nating, essentials to keep a healthy gut. You have to have a diet that's high in fiber. And healthy fats. Fats, we like fats, pero yan, yung healthy fats talaga yung mas dapat natin kakainin. So these are mostly unsaturated fats, and we get this from nuts, from seeds, no? Yung mga nut butter, peanut butter, actually healthy ang peanut butter kung walang sugar. Yan, walang sugar. Okay, so yan, yung mga sa oils, olive oil, avocado oil, yan yung mga unsaturated fats. Okay, next. So yan nga. So the food guide is actually divided into eat more, yung nakita natin kanina. Ito naman, eat some, tapos mamaya makikita natin, eat less. Dun sa eat less, parang nandun yata lahat ng favorite foods natin, di ba? Pero yan nga, foods in this yellow or orange chart, tsaka yung green chart na nakita natin, dun talaga yung majority dapat na laman or kinakain natin on a daily basis. So at least 60%, no, ng plate natin pag kumakain tayo, dito natin kukunin sa yellow chart tsaka dun sa green chart. Okay, next. So ito naman, no, dito sa red chart, yan. So, at the most, 40%. 40% lang dun sa kakainin natin per meal, no? What should be from this group. Tapos yon, alcohol should also be limited as well. Of course, may health benefits yung red wine, diba? And yeah, some alcohol is also good for the body. Pero yan nga, always in moderation. Okay, so ito yung tatlong charts that will help you, no, moving forward. Pwede nyo siyang gamitin na guide. And of course, yun, the internet is rich, and if you want to research more on how to do the Mediterranean diet, how to help you, keep it simple. Okay, next. Siyempre, lahat ng gulay, isasama natin yan dun sa green chart. So, nandyan siya sa eat more. So, you can, kumbaga, you can do as much, or you can take as much, eat as much vegetables as you want, pero keep it varied. So hindi rin dapat yung laging puro pechay lang, or puro broccoli lang, or puro kamatis, ganyan. Dapat medyo colorful talaga yung plato natin, halu-haluin natin. Tapos yun, lagi lang tayo gamit ng garlic, diba? Yung trifecta natin na Philippine cooking, diba? Bawang, sibuyas, kamatis, sige lang. Lahat ng dishes natin, if we can incorporate, as much as possible, as many vegetables as possible, yan talaga yung very good. So yun. So next. So yun nga, for starters, no, aim for a 60-40 balance. So yung 60, kukunin mo dun sa eat more, eat some, tapos yung 40 dun sa huling chart. So yun, andyan pa ba kayong lahat? Pero yun nga, if you want to take it further, di ba, na parang mas medyo feeling superhero na or parang super healthy yung ano natin, yung katawan natin, 'di ba? You go for an 80-20. 80%, 20 balance. Just to emphasize, 80% dun sa yellow and green charts, yung 20% lang dun sa red chart. Okay? Next. So, this is, sige, next na po. Ayan. So, this is just a general guide to portioning. Always start slow and work your way up. If you can, wag pilitin kasi at the end of the day, gusto natin happy pa rin tayo. Diba? Yun lang yung goal palagi. Happy pa rin tayo sa ginagawa natin. Wag naman yung parang, hindi, susundin ko to, pero ang lungkot mo na, parang mas dumami pa yung depression mo, yung anxiety mo kasi na-tense ka dahil hindi mo masunod. So, slowly work your way up. And yun nga, diba? Don't pressure yourself too much. Staying in the 60-40 zone will already have significant positive effects. So yun, diba? Ayan, dito sa pinaka-left, makikita nyo na yun, pwede pa ngang mas marami dun sa yellow chart, yung, diba, kaysa dun sa green, yung kakainin natin. And then, yun, you have 40% of, yan nga, yung mga nasanay tayo na kinalakihan natin, ng mga comfort food, diba, na ang hirap talaga matanggal sa diet kasi masarap talaga. Okay, next. Sige, we'll move on to, yan, so medyo na-discuss na natin, no, yung diet. Next, please. Okay, so now we move on. Supplementation, no? Just a very important supplement that I want to discuss. So here in the clinic, in my practice, we really push, no, for prescribing vitamin D, especially for us Filipinos na takot sa araw, 'di ba? May sunblock na tayo, nakapayong pa tayo, tapos yun nga, 'di ba? Parang dahil nga siguro sa weather, so parang laging gusto natin nasa aircon, nasa indoors, 'di ba? Hindi pero of course, syempre, beach lovers din tayo. So any chance na pwede tayong yan nga magbakasyon, 'di ba? Yun din naman. But yan nga, because especially during the pandemic, we saw a lot of talagang ang baba, talagang very deficient in vitamin D. So, yun, diba? And the optimal range, like because we do have a blood test, so maganda, no? But we can, actually, most of the time, we give vitamin D supplementation kahit na hindi na natin pinapakuha yung blood levels kasi we assume na talagang most of us nasa deficient levels by virtue of 2 years pandemic, lockdown, tapos actually previous to that, diba, meron na tayong baseline na vitamin D deficiency. Then nga, because of we are heavy on sunblock, yan nga, parang scared na mangitim or ganyan. So pero yan, no, vitamin D is super essential for the conversion of tryptophan, which is what we get in food. So ito yung nakukuha nating amino acids sa food na nako-convert sa serotonin, pero hindi siya mako-convert sa serotonin kung hindi maganda yung vitamin D levels natin sa dugo. Okay, so yun, vitamin D deficiency, research has shown that it's linked to an increased risk for mood disorders, including depression, seasonal affective disorders, severe mood problems during PMS, insomnia, and anxiety. Pero, especially for COVID, no, there is also a body of evidence now. So, proven na rin siya ng research na being deficient in vitamin D is correlated with a more severe COVID course, no? Tsaka mas magiging at risk for developing complications. So kapag hindi normal yung vitamin D levels mo, mas ikaw yung mas may chance na mag-develop ka ng complications from the disease. So 40 to 80 nanograms per milliliter is the ideal, is the optimal range na binibigay namin for our patients. Next. Okay, how do we get enough vitamin D to support good levels of serotonin? Alam nating lahat sun exposure, 20 to 30 minutes na yun nga, dapat naka-shorts, saka naka-sleeveless. Kumaga, ang point dito, dapat mas maraming skin na naka-expose. Kasi yung UV rays, no? So yun yung kailangan para ma-convert yung cholesterol sa skin natin, yun yung nagiging vitamin D kapag na-expose tayo sa sun. So this is ideally done 3 times a week. Yan, 20 to 30 minutes na minimal yung suot natin, diba? Kaya nga pag nasa beach yan, pwedeng-pwede. So, ito naman, foods that are highest in vitamin D, some of the foods that are very rich in vitamin D. You have salmon, swordfish, canned tuna. Siyempre, ayaw natin masyado na lagi nagka-canned food tayo. Pero yes, canned tuna is high in vitamin D. Fortified, yan, yung mga juice, yung mga ang dami natin narinig, fortified with vitamin D. So yan, yung orange juice, milk, no, fortified with vitamin D, ganyan. Mga nut milk, no, so hindi lang yung cow's milk, pero yan, yung mga nut milks. Sardines, beef liver, egg yolk, fortified cereals. So yan. So kung mako-consume nyo ito, on a daily basis na talagang yan yung magiging staple, magiging permanent sa diet natin, di ba? Why not, di ba? Or yan nga, another alternative is cod liver oil. Yan. 1 tablespoon daily. Although may cod liver oil naman na I think it's mostly na rin naman encapsulated. So hindi na kailangan, I think yung 1 tablespoon na wala sa capsule, uso to nung mga unang panahon eh, 'di ba? Ginagamit yan na talagang pan-detox din. Pero yan nga, 'di ba? Most of the time, itong mga unang na-mention ko, they are unlikely to be followed consistently. 'Di ba? Hindi naman wala eh. Because we have so many other things to do. We are so busy with other things in life, 'di ba? Kumbaga hindi naman natin mafo-focus na parang magagawa talaga natin lahat yan. So most of the time, kailangan talaga ng supplementation with vitamin D in capsule form. So depending on your serum levels, we usually recommend 1,000 units to 5,000 units, no? Depending rin on your lifestyle, depending on your condition in general. Okay, next. Sige. Okay, so tapos na tayo doon sa nutrition, food, and supplementation to improve our serotonin levels, no? For prevention of mood disorder, yung anxiety and depression. So now we move on, no? Next area, foods and supplements that will increase our body's energy production, which is the production of ATP or adenosine triphosphate by our mitochondria, the so-called powerhouse of the cell. So yeah, very familiar na sa atin yung term na mitochondria, di ba? Now, what is it for? What is ATP for? No? Muscle contractions, blood circulation, nerve impulse transmission, protein synthesis, and most cellular functions, they all require ATP. So in other words, sa lahat-lahat ng functions ng katawan natin, ginagamit natin yung ATP. Pero, special to this topic, the brain uses 70% of the ATP produced by the mitochondria. Hence, the strong correlation between mitochondrial dysfunction and neurodegeneration. Diba? So isipin natin, since 70% pala ng ATP na pupunta sa brain function natin, so anytime na magkaroon ka ng weakening of your mitochondria, diba? Nabawasan yung function ng mitochondria mo, sure ball yan, diba? Neurodegeneration will follow, or neurologic symptoms, or magde-develop ka ng a condition, a brain dysfunction, di ba? So yun na nga. And because, so you can imagine how much the mitochondria needs to work on a daily basis, 24/7, from the moment that we're born up until the day that we die. So because of the sheer amount of energy that it needs to produce day in and day out, the mitochondria are especially susceptible to nutrient deficiencies, environmental toxins, and oxidative damage. Next. Now, what is oxidative damage? Ironically, diba? At the same time that our mitochondria requires oxygen, diba? Super daming oxygen to produce ATP for most of our cellular and biological functions, yung kailangan niya yung oxygen na yun to produce the ATP, At the same time, nag-generate siya ng free radicals or waste or reactive oxygen species na mismong magda-damage rin dun sa mitochondria kung hindi siya manuneutralize ng antioxidants. Kaya uso, di ba? Dami yan in the market. It's really also a big business now, no? Yung antioxidants. Pero yan yung value niya, di ba? Yun yung value niya. Which means that our mitochondria demands a constant supply of oxygen, hindi yan pwede mawala ng oxygen, and the proper nutrients for our bodies to function normally and optimally on a daily basis, diba? So basically, what is needed for ATP? Oxygen talaga, tsaka food. So therefore, yung mitochondria natin, talagang dependent, function of our mitochondria is really dependent on the health, no, and vitality of our lungs and the vitality of our gut, no, of our digestive system. So yun, so ito, no, essential nutrients for ATP production, we have the B vitamins, CoQ10, coenzyme Q10, carnitine, iron, magnesium, manganese, no, ito yung mga essentials for production. Itong last item na to, cysteine, no, which is the precursor to glutathione, ito serves the protective function for the mitochondria. So it's not really involved in the production of ATP, indirectly involved siya kasi it protects the mitochondria from self-destruction. No? Because it is the number one, it is, if not the number one of the top antioxidants, no, that our bodies produce, glutathione. So hindi siya yung, di ba baka may misconception some of us na yung glutathione, it's mainly for cosmetic, for improving our yung skin, di ba, for beauty, ganyan. Pero what I want you guys to understand is the reason for that glow, for the reason for parang it has that effect on beauty, yung physical natin. Kasi when you have high levels of glutathione inside our body, circulating in our blood, maayos yung internal functionings natin, maayos yung lahat yung detoxification mechanisms ng katawan natin. So that kapag maayos yung internal workings natin, 'di ba? Nagma-manifest physically. Nagma-manifest siya sa skin, nagma-manifest siya dun sa physical appearance natin. So yun yung secret ng glutathione, 'di ba? Okay, so kung walang glutathione, yun, the mitochondria will really, kumbaga, madali siyang masisira, madali siyang mag-breakdown, madali siyang magkakasakit. Pag nag-breakdown ng mitochondria, hindi tayo makaka-produce ng enough ATP, yun na, domino effect na siya, di ba? Lahat ng bodily functions natin, di ba? As I said kanina, ano yun? Mga muscle contractions, nerve impulse transmission, which is basically, brain function and spinal cord movement function, di ba? Lahat maaapektuhan. Okay, so very, very important, glutathione. Okay, next. So on top of these free radicals, saka oxidants na naproproduce, so yun nga, just by living, by existing on a daily basis, nagproproduce tayo ng maraming free radicals because of the mitochondria's work. Meron pa, on top of that, meron pa na pwedeng maka-apekto or pwedeng maka-damage ng mitochondria natin, which is of course, aging, something that we can control naman talaga, pero we can do things to prevent or parang to prolong or parang bumagal, no? To slow down the aging process. And I'm talking about at a cellular level. Pero yun nga, of course, mag-manifest yan eventually physically, di ba? So yun, of course, aging, there's accumulated oxidative damage to our mitochondrial DNA also, di ba? Yan yung given na yan. Kumbaga, wala tayong masyadong magagawa dyan. Genomic susceptibility, there's also a genetic disease, that will predispose for your mitochondrial to not be working properly, Toxic metals, persistent organic pollutants. Itong persistent organic pollutants, kilala natin yan as pesticides, So yan, unfortunately, yun nga, for growth of our food, sa mga vegetables, sa mga plants, 'di ba? Hindi na iiwasan talagang gumagamit. So incorporated din yan somehow sa mga kinakain natin, itong mga organic pollutants na to. So yun, and they damage the mitochondria. As well as many prescription drugs, no? There's a whole list of drugs, and some of them are drugs that we what do you call this, that we commonly take. You know, if my memory serves me right, yan, nandyan, kasama dyan yung paracetamol, acetaminophen, no? Yun. And alcohol, syempre, no? So these are all the other factors that will potentially damage our mitochondria. Okay, next. So how do we take care of it? Oh, how do we support our mitochondrial health? So ideally, ito ulit, balik tayo sa food. Ideally, consuming whole foods is really the best way to nourish our mitochondria. Pero, malaking pero, but more often than not, for a multitude of reasons, and I'm sure mamaya sa question and answer sa open forum, no, very lively yung discussion yan, no, for a multitude of reasons, no, hindi natin talaga nasusunod ito. Pero you know, just the same, ayan talaga, ito yung mga healthy foods will support yung mitochondrial health natin, will make it more parang what do you call this, mas buhay yung mitochondria to be producing more ATP to give us more energy, you know, for our daily functions. Yeah, so we have your berries, your grass-fed beef, focus on the grass-fed as much as possible, di ba? Yun nga, the less processed the meat is, yan, mas maganda. Grass-fed beef for your source of B vitamins, cruciferous vegetables for sulforaphane. So itong sulforaphane na to, which is contained in cruciferous vegetables, is actually a very powerful chemical na nag-neutralize, no? It helps neutralize the free radicals or the reactive oxygen species na na-generate natin on a daily basis. So actually, just for everyone to understand better, yung reactive oxygen species na kanina ko pa sinasabi, yan yung culprit, no? Yan ang culprit, isa sa mga culprits na magpo-perpetuate ng inflammation sa katawan natin anywhere in our body, from the brain down to our toes, to the smallest blood vessels, to our capillaries, no? So this is one of the culprits talaga. You know, free radicals na continuously circulating in our bodies and harming our internal functionings, kasi hindi siya na-detox ng katawan natin, hindi tayo nakaka-recover from all that inflammation, largely because of yun nga, our lifestyle and our habits. Okay, sige, yun, the food that we eat, yung lahat ng mga things in the market ngayon, 'di ba, na gustong-gusto natin kainin, inumin. Okay? So pero yun, okay, just to continue, yun. Wild salmon for your DHA, your cysteine, your CoQ10, avocados for fat, magnesium, vitamin E, all the green leafy vegetables for magnesium, no, yan. So these are some of the best fuel foods. Fuel kasi we call them, kumbaga, it's fuel, but these foods are actually fuel for the fuel that our bodies make, which is ATP, diba? So, okay, next. Pero yun nga, no? So to support mitochondrial health, ito naman yung supplements that we recommend. If for one reason or another, hindi talaga natin masunod or hindi natin makuha from whole foods, then this is the next best thing, is really to supplement. So yun naman yung purpose talaga ng supplementation, no? So ideally, makukuha mo siya sa food, pero kung hindi mo siya talaga makuha yung requirements sa pag-consume, dahil medyo marami rin yun kailangan tayong i-consume para makuha natin yung daily requirement natin, no? Tapos iba-iba pa yung requirements natin based on kung ano yung level of activity natin. So It varies from individual to individual, but these are the supplements that will support mitochondrial health, okay? So we have coenzyme Q10, which will increase your ATP production and helps protect from ROSs or active oxygen species. Alpha lipoic acid, so yan, halos lahat to increases ATP production. L-carnitine, resveratrol, or resveratrol is actually found in grapes at saka wine. Kaya healthy rin ang wine kasi dahil nga, syempre, galing siya sa grapes, diba? So, very rich in resveratrol. Kung pwede nga, wine na lang ng wine. Joke lang. Sige, tapos, okay. So, and then the next thing that we will discuss here is NACE or N-acetylcysteine. And then meron tayong bago dito i-discuss which is called the ribosine. Ito, sila yung mainly responsible for increasing intracellular glutathione, which is very essential. Yan nga, for your mitochondria to keep on functioning. Kasi yung glutathione mo yung magki-clean ng basura, kumbaga, diba? And then, yeah, vitamin E also is another supplement that we can take to protect from oxidative damage. But very important itong N-acetylcysteine or ribosine, okay? So yun, glutathione is one of the most important, as I already mentioned, if not the most important antioxidant that is produced in our cells. And it is daily, no? It is depleted by a number of factors, including poor nutrition, environmental toxins, and stress. O yan, marami tayong lahat yan. On top of aging pa, diba? So yung given na yun, kumbaga, okay, wala tayong magagawa dyan. So therefore, it plays a vital role in protecting the mitochondria then from the oxidative damage that it itself generates by producing ATP. So yun, sabi ko na yun kanina, inulit ko lang, no? Just to emphasize. So siya yung very crucial para hindi magde-dysfunction yung mitochondria natin. Okay, N-acetylcysteine, I'm sure a lot of you have heard about this and probably some of you are taking it, no? So very good. Pero there is a new compound, no, that's been the topic of research from quite some time, and this is called the ribosine. So ribosine is actually a compound that's composed of ribose saka cysteine. So yung cysteine sa N-acetylcysteine nandiyan rin sa ribosine. Kasi nga itong cysteine siya talaga yung precursor ng glutathione. So yun na yun. To increase the production ng glutathione. Pero yung ribose dito sa ribosine, ito yung bago. Or actually, yung ribosine, siya yung bago. Pero ribose and cysteine, they've been there, diba? For since time immemorial. Yan. Pero yan nga, may nakadiscover ng compound na to na if you put it in one supplement, no, the ribose additionally serves the function as raw material for ATP production. So, if you're going to look at it, ribosine now is more potent than N-acetylcysteine. Kasi kung si N-acetylcysteine, precursor to glutathione, so it makes, parang for the production of more glutathione, yung ribosine may added, added benefit na ini-increase mo na yung glutathione, yung pag-produce mo ng glutathione, at the same time, nagpro-provide ka ng additional raw material for the ATP production. So yun yung very exciting about this new compound, no, the ribosine. So yun, next. Yun, okay. Yun. So, dun pala natapos yung natin, yung discussion natin on the mitochondria. So, yun, no, we did kung ano yung mga foods na pwede, tsaka ano yung mga supplements na pwedeng pang dagdag, no, sa health ng mitochondria natin. Okay. So, ito naman yung for nutrition, no, for nutritional interventions, ito yung last. To food and supplements for good sleep. Okay, so it has been found that it is during sleep, deep sleep, that the brain is able to detoxify optimally. And it is a diet that is high in fiber and low in saturated fat and sugar that supports good sleep habits. So ayan, evidence-based na po tayo dyan, no? They found that the restorative function of sleep may be a consequence of the enhanced removal of potentially neurotoxic waste products that accumulate habang gising tayo. So in our waking hours, we continually accumulate we continually generate neurotoxic waste. And it is only when we are in deep sleep na natatanggal pala yan, di ba? Tinatanggal ng bodies natin para the next day, fresh, no? Ano ulit, parang like brand new. Mas maraming space for, for all our brain functions, okay? Kasi yun nga, low fiber and high saturated fat and sugar is associated with lighter, less restorative sleep with more arousal. So yung laging gising ng gising, no? Interrupted sleep. So yun, that's all in research already. So basically, nandun pa rin, babalik pa rin tayo dun sa Mediterranean diet. So hindi lang pala, diba, hindi lang siya for mood, talagang for sleep, it's also very beneficial. And also for mitochondrial health, diba? Oh, yun, Mediterranean diet. Okay, so most of the foods, no, next please. Most of the foods that will support or give you better sleep or make you have better sleep habits. So ganun din. So as I said kanina, 'di ba, yung serotonin hindi lang siya for mood support, nakakatulong rin siya and actually essential siya for sleep, no? So yan. And then just to make mention of cherry juice, nagkaroon na rin sila ng research dito na apparently cherry juice, pero hindi ito yung hindi ito yung nahanap natin sa grocery na usually may mga kahalo na, tapos maraming sugars na. So kaya sabi nila tart, kasi ito yung pure. So I'm not sure kung meron tayo available in the market now, no, na meron tayong mabibili na talagang pure cherry juice. Pero it is an alternative to melatonin, diba? Like for those people who are not very keen on taking supplements, yun, if you can find tart cherry juice, it has been found to increase melatonin production, okay? And the rest, yan nga, for serotonin production. Okay, so moving on. Next, please, moving on to supplements. So ito naman, no, since kung hindi pa rin natin nga masunod, yung diet, proper eating, then here are the supportive supplements. And very important to give us good sleep would be magnesium, melatonin, 5-HTP or hydroxytryptophan is actually the precursor of serotonin. So it's not found in the body, it's not produced in the body. So when we take 5-HTP, yan, i-convert ng body natin to serotonin. And then, yan nga, lavender, no? Essential oils for some of you who might be using essential oils. Lavender is very good to diffuse to give you better sleep. And research has shown that it increases the amount of slow and deep wave sleep, yung lavender. Yung magnesium naman, the way it helps, it activates your parasympathetic nervous system. So ito yung parasympathetic versus the sympathetic, diba? Yung sympathetic yan yung flight or fight, no? Yan yung flight or fight system natin. Yung parasympathetic nervous system natin, yan yung responsible for parang yun, when we're digesting our food, yung dapat relax lang tayo, diba? So that is the system responsible for keeping us calm and relaxed. So yun din, diba? Supports proper digestion. Kaya very important rin yung mindful eating, diba? Hindi yung eating na yung parang laging in a rush or laging nagmamadali, nakakasira rin yun ng digestive system natin. So, digestion is made, was made to happen in a calm and relaxed environment para talagang ma-absorb natin yung nutrients na kailangan ng katawan natin. So, magnesium helps with that. Okay, sige. So, tapos na tayo with, next please, tapos na tayo with food, tapos na tayo with nutritional intervention. So, let's go to the other interventions na pwede natin gawin, no? Self-help, kumbaga, to battle long COVID brain fog. So, acupressure. Okay, certain acupuncture points stimulate the central nervous system to release chemicals, hormones, neurotransmitters into the muscles, spinal cord, and the brain. These biochemical changes enhance the immune response. No, they give you better sleep quality and feelings of well-being. So number 1 acupressure point, yan, ito. So between our eyebrows, no, we call it yin tang. So yan, for fatigue, for insomnia, for anxiety, whenever you get the chance lang, diba? On your breaks, kahit kailan, kung kailan nyo ma-feel gawin, diba? Very easy naman, just massage lang, diba? In the middle of the forehead, between the eyebrows. Okay, next, no? Another acupressure point is yan, as you can see dito sa base ng palm natin towards our ulna, no? So the radius is ito yung bone natin sa thumb, ito yung ulna. So meron dito, yan, at that point nakikita niyo naman dun sa slide, no? Dun sa when you press on it, no, it's called heart 7. It's a heart point. So and it's a very good for insomnia, depression, anxiety, and panic attack. So, massage it as much as you can. Kahit na nasa trabaho kayo, in commuting, driving, in traffic, not while actively driving. But yeah, because talagang traffic, given na rin yan sa atin diba? Dito sa Metro Manila. So, yun, very good point, diba? Insomnia, depression, anxiety. Okay, next, no? So another point is called PC6, no? Pericardium 6. So yun, follow lang the illustration. Measure from the base of your palm again, 3-finger width. Tapos yun, kung saan mag-e-end yun, sa gitna naman, sa pinakagitna, you press on that point and it will also help with symptoms of anxiety, palpitations. Ito, very good for palpitations, no? And feelings of sadness, ganyan. Okay, next. Triple warmer 5, no? This is what we call it in acupuncture. So dito naman sa kabilang side, no? So it's same, no? Three-finger width from the base of the dorsum of the hand. And then in the middle, no? Just massage it with enough pressure, medyo madi. For anxiety, fatigue, and insomnia. So these are very practical points that you can use and you can actually apply it at any time of the day, diba? Ito naman, I think this is the last acupressure point for fatigue and brain fog, specifically for brain fog, no? Next. So spleen 6 sa may paa naman to. So from your medial malleolus, the medial malleolus is yung buto sa ankle dito sa may thumb, sa inner part ng paa natin. So from that bone, mag-measure ka ng 4-finger width, no? Tapos dun sa pinakataas nun, dun sa, di ba may buto tayo dyan, malaki yung buto natin, yung tibia. That's the tibial bone. Behind it, so yun yung malaman na part, yun yung ipe-press, yun yung i-massage nyo na point. So that's the acupuncture point that's called spleen 6. Spleen, and actually, this is also a very good point to support if you have digestive issues, no? So kaya yan, brain and gut connection talaga. Okay, sige, lapit na tayo matapos. Restorative practices. So these are basically rehabilitative practices support healing and recovery. No, so yeah, just a rundown. Exercising, just simply walking for 20 minutes a day to increase your blood flow to the brain. It enhances neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity just means na-enhance niya yung brain connections, di ba? Yung mga kumbaga it makes for a clearer focus, mental clarity, more creativity, so yun, all the positive brain functions, ganyan. Exercising, it doesn't have to be high intensity training, basta may movement and basta you can do it consistently. Yun naman yung key sa exercise, and actually with anything rin naman, no? Consistency talaga. And then massage, improve circulation of blood, fluids, and even oxygen. Mental exercises, yung na-mention rin ni Robbie kanina, find ways kung paano nyo may exercise, crosswords, card games, Sudoku, Wordle, I'm sure marami sa atin gumagawa nitong Wordle, even Mahjong, diba, for those who are in the parang yung more senior audience natin. Ko alam kung uso pa rin sa millennials ang Mahjong, pero actually maganda siyang ma-introduce sa millennials din, no? So yun, read magazines, books. This slows down brain aging and memory loss. So improves your parang memory storage. Yan. Mindfulness meditation, just 5 to 10 minutes daily, find the corner in silence, yan, while driving in traffic, just focusing on your breath, just literally listening to how you breathe. This will do a lot to improve concentration and creativity. Si Robbie rin, naalala ko naman siya kanina, sometimes when it gets overwhelming for her, she takes some time, 5 to 10 minutes just to parang kind of gather yourself together again and have that mindfulness meditation. And ito, diba, a very practical tip, social media hiatus. No? Parang we go on social media breaks from time to time dahil napakadami rin medyo negativity, no, sa social media. So, research has actually found that it immediately reduces anxiety and also improves sleep, no, causes positive changes in mood. Yung simple action na parang sabihin mo kahit 1 week, 'di ba, magkaroon ng social media break, ganyan, para matanggal yung mga negative. Okay. A few more slides, no. Next, colon cleansing through coffee enema. So this is actually one of the main things that we do in our clinic, no, in our practice. This is a treatment where the colon is gently irrigated by a warm diluted coffee solution. It helps remove buildup of fecal matter, supports regular bowel movements, and because there is that brain and gut function, diba? Gut-brain connection, diba? So it is very important to keep your digestive system, your gut healthy. It rinses out toxins and improves nutrient absorption, stimulates production of glutathione in the liver because of the coffee, no? And it reduces symptoms of anxiety and depression. So these are the benefits naman of doing colon cleansing through coffee enema. I'm sure baka marami magtatanong about that later. And lastly, before I end this talk, intravenous laser therapy. Next please. So intravenous laser therapy, no? This is very probably, no, majority here very new to you guys, but it has actually been existing for about 25 years now when it was first introduced, diba? It is the use of a laser light that is delivered intravenously through an optical fiber catheter. No? So treatments would last from 15 to 30 minutes for 10 to 12 sessions daily or once a week, depending on the severity of the condition being treated. So blood is exposed to low levels of laser radiation to stimulate cellular interactions. So ano to, light wave therapy, diba? Laser is light wave. So yun, we have different colors actually, the red, the yellow, the green, and the UV, and they all serve different purposes. So the red laser increases ATP production, inhibits platelet aggregation. Therefore, you increase your ATP production, you increase energy, you have better circulation, and what do you call this? At the end of it, your neurologic functions are improved, diba? Kasi important yung blood circulation, diba? For proper neurologic functioning. Yellow laser improves serotonin and vitamin D metabolism, thus relieving anxiety and depression. Green laser naman is used for as an anti-inflammatory. It increases the oxygen uptake of the red blood cells. Basically our life lifeline, diba? UV laser increases oxygen absorption into the body tissue. So, kung yung green laser increases oxygen uptake sa red blood cells, yung UV laser naman enhances delivery of the oxygen into all the parts of our body. So, mas maganda yung absorption natin sa lahat ng body tissues natin. It also has an added benefit of destroying viral, bacterial, and fungal growth. No? It increases the dilation of vessels by increasing your production of nitric oxide. So nitric oxide is one of those chemicals that increases the dilation of our vessels for proper circulation as well. So yun, I think that just about concludes my talk. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Gutom na kayong lahat. I'm sorry for taking up your lunch time, but thank you. I hope somehow you've learned, picked up some things from the lecture and ma-apply nyo in your daily lives, no? As we sabay-sabay tayo, no, na mag-recover and from COVID and long COVID. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Fran. No, busog po
Dami.
kami sa informasyon. I was able to write down everything, and of course, bukod din po sa ating mga participants, no, we have Facebook questions, we have Zoom questions, and we have personal questions sa backstage. So, di ba? Yung mga participants din ho natin had the same. So once again, thank you po.
Kain kayo habang nag-open forum tayo.
Yes, working
Working lunch.
webinar.
Working lunch.
Once again, thank you so much for the very informative discussion about holistic interventions for post-COVID brain fog. And with this, let's proceed to the open forum. So to everyone who's still with us, we highly encourage you to send in your questions via the Q&A feature. So dalawa ho yan, meron po tayong chat box and the Q&A feature if you are in Zoom. But if you are on Facebook, the comment section, of course, is open during our Facebook Live. So we have right here Miss Robbie and, of course, Dr. Fran. We have one question from one of our participants asking to Miss Robbie. Ayan, sabi po, how do you feel when brain fog symptoms attack you all of a sudden? This is very crucial, no? As you've mentioned, sending an email na pag nagkamali would definitely make or break your day or maybe your career. How do you are there any tips also for our participants, no, who's sharing this?
Ayun po, ang ginagawa ko po ay ang how do I feel po is ayun nga po na-share ko na nafu-frustrate ako and minsan nalulungkot rin po ako kasi parang before hindi naman ako gano'n. Then bakit ngayon nararamdaman ko 'tong mga symptoms na 'to. But at the end of the day nga po parang kunwari may nakalimutan akong details, hingi talaga akong paumanhin dun sa mga taong naaano ko po, yun po.
Ayan. Thank you, Miss Robbie. And another question goes to Doctora. Yeah, Doctora Fran, a question from our participant. She is asking, or he or she is asking, is there a specific diagnostic tool para daw po ma-detect na you are experiencing brain fog?
Nako, mukhang unfortunately wala. Oo. So basically it's a clinical it's a clinical diagnosis 'di ba? That's why it's very important to take the patient's history, medical history. But spend some time talaga with the patient para ma-determine mo kung yan nga if it's brain fog from whatever cause. It may not be from COVID, 'di ba? But as I said, actually, halos lahat ng comorbidities na kung hindi yan congenital or hindi genetic, halos lahat ng lifestyle conditions natin, comorbidities, ano yan related sa inflammation talaga, 'di ba? Bottom line is inflammation. So when you talk about addressing the root cause, no, if you want to talk about management and long-term solutions, talagang that's one thing that we really need to look at, 'di ba? If yun, yung parang ano ba yung nagda-drive? Ano yung nagda-drive dun sa pag nagpo-perpetuate yung symptoms ng brain fog or any other disease.
Thank you, Doc. No, the patient dapat talaga magpa-check up din, ano, and like what Doctora mentioned a while ago, no, if there is oxygen restriction, so part na rin po yung nabanggit niya, if you had of course COVID and some other diseases that might lead to, no, yung kaunting supply ng oxygenated blood sa
Yes.
ating brain, ano, Doktora. So maaari actually yung question ko din susunod niyan, Doc, is it the same katulad din po ng sinasabi nilang mommy brain? Female na naman, Doc.
Lugi-lugi na tayo no? Pero anong tawag dito? Mommy brain. Alam mo, actually, ang isang ano rin dyan is, di ba, so pag when we give birth, usually nasa-subject tayo to anesthesia, di ba? So yun, isang tingnan mo, mommy brain isang ano rin siya, isang explanation, no, for that mommy brain na tinatawag, no. So, pero ah sorry Natalie, ano yung question mo ulit? Parang
Parang same lang siya, Doc, no, ng symptoms. Could it be like the same as yung nasasuffer ng mommy brain sa brain fog din, na parang ganun din yung feeling?
kung bakit nangyayari yung mommy brain, kung lack of oxygen din, ganyan.
Yes, Doc.
Well, possible, or dahil lang siguro parang ang ano, 'di ba? Pag mommy ka super overwhelmed, ang dami mong concerns, ganyan. So parang nagsasabay-sabay rin talaga lahat, 'di ba? So just by the sheer amount of like what you need to do, and the things that we need to take care of. Pero yun, anesthesia also plays a role.
Yes. Nagkakasabay-sabay. Ayan. Thank you, Doc. Another question from for Miss Robbie, no? Question from our participant. Meron ka daw po bang mga activities na hindi na nagagawa? Of course, because you dread, no, that brain fog might attack, or maybe it might yung danger, no, most especially if Miss Robbie is driving. Do you meron ka na bang hindi nagagawa ng mga activities when you are suffering from brain fog?
Yes po, minsan mostly nangyayari po yun sa work. Hindi ko na po nagagawa yung mga dapat kong task for the day, hindi ko sila nakukumpleto kasi minsan out of the blue, minsan natutulala ako for a few minutes. So parang yung time parang sayang. Ayun po, tapos minsan kahit may listahan rin ako, parang confused pa rin talaga ako, like kahit may listahan ako, hindi ko siya masunod. Yun po. So affected po talaga rin yung sa work. Masasabi ko rin po affected siya.
That's the reason why, Miss Robin, no, you have mentioned na may mga apps ka sa phone, anything that would really help you, no, remember or keep you organized, no? Ayan, and it would really help. Thank you so much for the question ng ating participant. I think I've seen one question na nag-appear po, no? I think that's for Doc Fran. That can brain fog lead to dementia, Doktora?
Oh, actually nabasa ko rin 'yon dito sa chat box. Possible. Actually, it is possible, no? So, and the reason for that, so yun nga, 'di ba? Brain fog, no? So, ano yung root cause niya? Parang it's being perpetuated by a consistent na hindi nagre-resolve yung inflammation somewhere along our central nervous system, or even yun nga, yung gut natin, 'di ba? So, kumbaga, kung patuloy siya na ma-perpetuate na hindi natin na-address, no, yung root cause, so mag-worsen, magpro-progress yung symptoms, 'di ba? Hindi siya mawawala. Ang siguro para visually ma-appreciate natin, 'di ba? Pag any bodily injury, no, any bodily harm, the way our body responds is inflammatory. Inflammation, 'di ba? Magre-release yung body natin ng immune cells, inflammatory cells, tapos somehow yun yung parang yun yung magi-initiate din ng healing, 'di ba? Nung healing. So, pero kung patuloy na merong nagti-trigger, patuloy na merong bodily harm, or patuloy na merong nagko-cause ng inflammation, parang umiikot lang siya. Magre-release ng inflammatory cells, mag-heal, pero nandiyan trigger pa rin ng trigger, so inflammation ulit, tapos healing. So parang scar formation ng parang ganon, 'di ba? If you can imagine, parang nagpapatong-patong lang yung scars, parang ganyan. So may parang may literal damage to the brain tissue, 'di ba? May literal damage to the brain tissue eventually kung hindi mo talaga maa-address 'yon. And the less brain tissue we have, 'di ba? O yun, mas magde-develop ng cognitive dysfunctions talaga. And ayun na, yung isang given pa, 'di ba? Aging. Kumbaga wala na nga tayong nagagawa doon. Tapos parang dadagdagan pa ng ibang mga triggers na patuloy na magpo-perpetuate ng inflammation. So yun. I hope I was able to answer your question.
Yes.
Possible.
Thank you, Doctor. So it's really important, no? Most especially doon the last part, yung mga dapat din pong kainin, dapat gawin. It's still, sabi nga nila, our brain is also a muscle. So parang kailangan din ng workout. Mental gym, ayan.
Oh.
Mental exercises would really help. Okay, we have one question here for Miss Robbie. Miss Robbie, yung na-mention mo daw pong support group. Would you be so kind to mention it so they could join, most especially to some na ngayon lang na-realize na, I think this is brain fog that I'm experiencing. Thank you.
Ayun po. Right now, I think HFI is organizing a support group po. Meron po tayo mga doctors doon sa group na maaring makabigay po sa atin ng information. And ayun po, meron rin po tayong mga members na nag-share nung experiences po nila. I think HFI po will post it, or you can chat down your email address or contact number po sa Facebook. Kung naka-Facebook live po kayo dun sa chat po. Ayan po.
Ayun, napopost na ang group. So you can join. Now that we are having our discussion, dumadami na, Miss Robbie and Doktora, mga katanungan. Okay, question for Doktora Fran. Doktora, can you tell us what foods ang pwede naming hanapin that has ribosine? Yeah, I've seen this po sa discussion nyo kanina.
Ayun. So actually, when it comes, actually supplement siya. Hindi siya, wala pa akong alam so far. Pero I'll be sure to, to share that also kung sakali na biglang meron palang food or na that contains ribosine. But for now, it is being sold as a supplement. So capsules.
Capsules ang ribosine.
Actually, pwede ko bang sabihin na ako, I take it? I take it, yeah, no. So, and it's proven very helpful talaga. Proven very helpful. And I do prescribe it to some of my patients as well.
And Doktora, since we have mentioned the inflammation, what is your take on turmeric? And yun po, if you need to,
alam mo,
payo.
naisip ko yan. Siyempre habang kanina, ang dami rin pero I think in one of my slides, nakalagay dun na herbs, spices, diba? Part of the Mediterranean diet. O, syempre, number 1 dyan, turmeric talaga. Oo. Siguro yan din yung top 1. Baka yan pa nga yung top 1 na supplement na pinupush rin namin or pinaprescribe din sa patients, no? Turmeric is really, it's almost like a power supplement, like a miracle supplement, no? It really addresses, that's it. It addresses inflammation. So we would all benefit from taking turmeric. Pero ang very important, curcumin kasi, the active ingredient of turmeric, hindi siya highly absorbable sa katawan natin kung yun na yun lang, kung pure turmeric. So it has to be, meron siyang kailangan kang i-add. And it's most of the time pepper. So black pepper. Ground pepper. So, kailangan yung capsule mo or yung supplement na iinumin mo. Or kung nagta-turmeric powder ka sa tea, lagyan nyo ng pepper, 1 or 2 pinches. And that will make the curcumin bioavailable. Otherwise, sayang. Kasi, kahit na ganong kadaming turmeric yung inumin nyo, kung wala siyang kakabit or kasama na pepper, ine-excrete lang ng body natin siya.
Ayan. I will really sprinkle mine with the pepper, Doktora. Ano lang, parang...
Pepper, 1 or 2 pinches. Like, hambawa, sa isang ayan, sa isang cup, yan. Kung gagawa ka ng turmeric tea, ganyan, 1 or 2 pinches of pepper, will really help your body absorb.
Ayan, thank you, Doktora. One more for Miss Robbie. Ayan, okay. What is your advice to our, I think meron tayong mga nagko-comment din kanina that can relate to your story. Ano po yung maipapayo nyo din po sa kanila, most especially right now, we are equipped. We now know information coming from Dr. Fran about ito pong brain fog.
ayun nga po, kapag, nakaka-experience kayo ng brain fog, make sure po na to pause muna. Yun talaga yung number one kong ginawa, to pause and reassess your thoughts po muna bago kayo kunyari may sasagutin kayong tao or, may need kayong gawin, kailangan niyo munang to pause, then saka niyo po siya i-execute. Then, don't, don't be too hard on yourself. Alam ko yung feeling na parang parang nakaka-frustrate talaga siya and nakakalungkot na na meron ka nun and kapag yung mga tao most likely yung ibang tao diyan sasabihan kayo na, "Ang excuse mo lang 'yan," or what. Don't be discouraged don't be discouraged kasi, um, marami tayo. Ayun, yun lang yung masabi ko, marami po tayong nagsa-suffer sa long COVID symptoms and ang dami pang hindi pa nila alam yun. Malay niyo yung mga, family members niyo di nila nare-realize na meron rin sila nun, ayun po.
Thank you, Miss Robin. The good news is what Dr. Fran had mentioned, na kaya nga sinabing long COVID, ibig sabihin may katapusan, no?
Yes, walang forever.
Walang forever. So compared to continuous, no? But this one has an end also. So yan ang inflammation, sabi nila, ang pamamaga, iimpis din yan. So it's the same thing. So napaka-encouraging, no, Miss Robbie, for those who are experiencing the same thing. Thank you, Miss Robbie. Another one, ito na, question din namin to, Doktora, Miss
Oh.
Robbie, regarding glutathione. It was mentioned, for glutathione, taking it as a supplement, do you recommend this, Doktora? Which one's better? The supplement in capsule form or the one na nakikita natin commercially na mayroon IV drip? Ayan, thank you.
Okay. So actually, yung best form ng glutathione is yung pinoproduce ng katawan natin. Endogenous yung tawag, production, no? So yung nakukuha natin ng glutathione supplement, whether iinumin natin or i-inject sa atin intravenously, exogenous na yung tawag dyan, meaning from an outside source. So really, the best way is for you to stimulate your own body to produce the glutathione. So how do you do that? Yun nga, for the longest time, it has been NAC, diba? N-acetylcysteine. So yan yung supplement na rin-recommend namin na i-take, tapos ma-absorb ng katawan natin. It will be absorbed intracellularly. The cysteine component of N-acetylcysteine will be converted to glutathione inside the cell. So you have your endogenous production. Pero yun, so there's this new product na ribosine na on top of cysteine that will make you produce more glutathione, yung ribose component, raw material naman siya for ATP production, di ba? So, mas medyo powerful talaga siya compared to NAC, no? Yun yung nakikita ng research ngayon. But yeah, for the question, mas maganda na yung sarili nating katawan, yung magproproduce ng glutathione. And apart from ribosine or N-acetylcysteine, coffee enema, no? Colon cleansing is another way to push your body to produce more glutathione.
Ayan. Na-mention mo na, Doktora, sundan ko na lang din po.
Sige.
How often, ayan,
Okay.
whether or not we have brain fog, or how often should we have coffee enema?
Yun. So, depende rin yan. Case-to-case basis, no? So, that's why it's important for us to sit down with the patient. Kung marami siyang digestive issues, sometimes may patients, once a week lang nagmo-move ng bowels. So yan, mas madalas ang recommendation yung initial, no? Parang initial detox. Pero in general, what I recommend for maintenance, parang preventive maintenance, no? And this is for the generally healthy population din naman. Once a month, no? Once a month, it would be good. It would be good to have that coffee enema, to have that cleanse. Pero actually, kung first time, ano yan more or less, maraming detox problems eh. So, for first timers, we generally recommend na you do coffee enema once a week for at least 4 to 6 weeks, no? Parang nandyan yung general recommendation. And then, pagkatapos nun, preventive maintenance nga, once a month. Unless vegan ka, unless super, ideal, diba? Vegan na or vegetarian na. Pero yun, for most of us, wala, masarap talaga kumain eh. Christmas pa. Okay, so, yun, usually after Christmas yan, daming patients gusto mag-consult for detox, diba?
Ayan, meron na kaming realization ni Miss Robbie na type of diet. Ayan, na-mention din po yung Mediterranean. So, nag-usap na rin kami. Mamaya hingi kami ng list sa'yo, Doktor.
Actually maraming resources, 'di ba? Yan yung advantage rin naman natin ngayon sa sa internet.
Yes, thank you, Doc. Speaking of, no, we have medical professionals here. Question daw po for Doc Fran. I would like to ask po what could be the best in lieu of seafoods? Halimbawa daw po ay oysters and mussels, organ meat for the mood and antidepressant food slide daw po kanina. Dahil either hindi daw po kinakain ni client o ipinagbabawal po ng doktor. What is our advice po?
O yun na nga. So yun din, no? That's why kaya ako nagsabi ng ito yung foods, ito yung pinaka best talaga, 'di ba? Na parang para masupply yun. Pero for a multitude of reasons, kung hindi makain yung food na yun, whether because of an allergy or mere preference, 'di ba? Then we do supplementation nga, no? So that's where supplementation comes in. Or yun nga, may vegetable sources rin naman, 'di ba? To increase serotonin production, no? Madami rin non-meat, madaming yun. So kung hindi meat eater or seafood eater, mga sources of protein may iba rin like soybeans, diba? Yung mga beans, mga nuts, seeds, ganyan. So yun, there's a whole, madami ibang alternatives.
Thank you po. Question for Miss Robbie from one of our participants. Mention mo daw yung application on your phone that helps you organize your things to do, and how does it help you right now, no? Right after daw po ng COVID-3. Ayan, thank you po.
Ang ginagamit ko po is yung Samsung Notes or Evernotes po. Pag sa laptop ko naman po, it's either naka-Google Docs po siya or Excel file po talaga. Tapos po, ayun po, lagi na lang po ako naglalagay talaga ng mga post-it or dapat may notepad ako na dala and pen. And important po sa akin yung phone recording. Or kahit sa mga meetings po namin sa office, nire-record ko po siya para mababacktrack ko po siya. Ayun po.
That is really good. I think the one that was commenting kanina also is, no, nag-work din right now. So it also happens to young professionals like you, and our advice, of course, Doktora, all of us are take advantage of the digital or yung mga gadgets ho natin that would really help us, no, not just for those who are having brain fog, but for those who are ordinary people na hindi natin sana hihintayin na mag-suffer din po sa brain fog. So thank you so much, Miss Robbie. We have another question here, and they are really interested with pagdating dun sa diet daw po, Doktora. Okay, can my gut-brain influence my food choices or diet?
Yes, definitely. Very good question po. Actually, no, in one of ito sa mga studies namin, no, meron mga nag-mention na rin na lecturers before na actually there's actually more bacteria, total number, more bacteria in our gut than the total number of cells in our body. If you can imagine, if you can visualize that, no, na ang sinasabi nga, kung ano yung kind ng bacteria na nasa gut natin, actually subconsciously, unconsciously, hindi tayo conscious dun eh, unconsciously, yun yung nagde-dictate ng cravings natin, no? So, pero sorry, hindi ko mabibigay sa inyo kung which, baka may magtanong, ano pong strain ng bacteria, yung nagpapakrave ng ganito. Hindi ko siya ma-mention yan. Pero yun, no, there's a growing body of research for that na they're studying, no? That's why rin maganda na you have probiotics in your supplementation, no? Probiotics, and then yung prebiotics na prebiotic foods, no? Prebiotics is actually what will feed the probiotics in the gut, no? So yun, I mean, so many products rin available sa probiotics, 'di ba? Meron pa siyang iba-iba pang klase siya, specific to the, meron pa specific for women, specific for the GI, specific for some other system, 'di ba? For the brain, for brain health, ganyan. So yun, no, that's one so yes, the answer to your question is yes. Na i-influence niya yung food choices natin.
Doctor, you've mentioned probiotics, and one thing came to mind, no? Kids, no? They also take that as
Kids.
well.
Mm.
Nagsasuffer din po ba ang mga kids ng brain fog when they're infected? Well, kids like teenagers, do you have patients na who had the same scenario din po?
Siguro, kasi if you think about it, di ba? Pag mas bata tayo, mas healthy pa tayo. Wala pa tayong ibang comorbidities, wala pa tayong ibang nararamdaman, wala pa tayong ibang mental and emotional issues sa buhay, di ba? So, mas mabilis nagre-recover. Mas mabilis nag-overcome dun sa inflammation na sinasabi. Mas dynamic pa, mas parang yung turnover ng cells, 'di ba? Yung mas mabilis pa habang bata tayo. Mas mabilis tayo mag-compensate yan. Pero yan, habang yan nga dumadami ang mga life happenings, ganyan, 'di ba? So yun, so ang question is akong mga bata, pwede, depende nga rin kung ano yung situation, diba, nung teenager or what. Kasi ngayon naman marami din tayong cases, no? Parang pabata rin yung demographic na nagsisimula yung anxiety, yung depression, mga mental health issues, no? So, oo, yes, pwede rin na nakaka-experience sila ng symptoms ng brain fog.
Thank you so much, Doc Fran. So one question to Miss Robbie. Ayan. Parang Miss Universe. Ayan, Miss Universe question. One word to describe, no? One word to describe, or a word of encouragement. One word lang, no? To someone, no? Lalo na ngayon that, of course, when you're feeling brain fog, sometimes emotionally, no? You question yourself, why is this happening? Hindi naman ako ganito dati. One word to give, no, to someone na meron ding same experience just like you po. Oh, one word.
One word is kindness. Yun po yung kasi be kind to yourself. Ganun po. Ayun.
Ayan. That's really true actually, no?
Oo naman.
Opo, it's really true. And being kind to not just to someone but to yourself, and you'd be able to handle and accept and of course share your knowledge. At marami din pong natuto, no? I've written down most of the discussions, and siguro ang final message din po natin or ang final question natin kay Doktora, yun na yung I also had the same question. How often should we do, Doktora, yung acupressure? I may not have brain fog or maybe a mommy brain, yes, but
Yeah.
when we feel sad or when we feel anxious, how often should we do the acupuncture points that you have shown on your slides a while ago?
Actually, do it as often as you can, as much as you can, whenever. Oh, walang overdose. Walang overdose. Ang overdose niyan, more positive feelings, 'di ba? More positive effects. Pero wala, oo. Unless siguro nag-meeting ka or 'di ba? May oo. But so timing lang ganyan. But at any time of the day, whenever you feel like it, do it as much as you can, as often as you can.
Thank you so much, Miss Robbie and Dr. Fran. And thank you also to our participants. But of course, before you go, I would like to award you a certificate of appreciation on behalf of HFI. Health Futures Foundation Incorporated awards this certificate of appreciation to Ms. Maria Roberta Sare for her enlightening talk on My Brain Fog Story in Clearing the Cloud, Holistic Interventions for Post-COVID Brain Fog webinar on this day of the 8th of December 2022 via Zoom, given this 8th day of December 2022. And this is signed by HFI President Dr. Cora de Los Angeles Anuevo and HFI Chairman Dr. Jaime Galvestan. Ayan. So we'll just pause for photo documentation. Thank you so much, Ms. Robbie, and also to our speaker, Doctora. Health Futures Foundation Incorporated awards a certificate of appreciation to Doctora Frances Vera Bernardino Vergara for her enriching talk in holistic interventions for post-COVID brain fog webinar on the 8th of December 2022 via Zoom, given this 8th day of December 2022 and signed by HFI President Dr. Cora de Los Angeles Anuevo and HFI Chairman Dr. Jaime Galvestan. Once again, Doctor, thank you so much. And pause for a
Thank
photo
you.
documentation. Okay, so as we approach the end of today's webinar, HFI would like to thank, of course, Ms. Maria Roberta Sare for sharing her brain fog story and Dr. Bernardino Vergara once again for sharing her valuable insights on holistic interventions for post-COVID brain fog. Of course, our utmost gratitude and appreciation goes to all of our webinar attendees. Maraming salamat po, and who joined us today as we learn the new knowledge that is timely and relevant to our objective to achieve holistic health and wellness. Thank you also to our Facebook participants, to all of those who ask and help us improve our future webinars and events by answering our short evaluation form flashed on your screens. So it's https colon //bit.ly/HFI brain fog eval. So you can also scan the QR code on the screen and the link is also sent sa atin din pong chat box. All you have to do is just click it. And please be reminded that the deadline for answering the evaluation form is up until tomorrow ng 12:30 po ng hapon. Again, I would like to remind everyone that we will be sending, we have questions kanina, no? The e-certificates to Zoom participants who stayed all throughout the webinar and accomplished the evaluation form. So bukod po sa pag-attend nyo today, you should have dapat mapirmahan o masulatan ang evaluation form po natin. And help us once again to reach more people by following us on our social media platforms, as you can see on your screen. And in the chat box or comment section, you may visit us at our website. It's www.healthfuturesfoundation.com. You may also follow us on our Facebook, facebook.com/healthfutures. And this is for the timely health tips and for the latest news and updates on HFI's events and projects. Of course, facebook.com/alaga.ka for news and updates on HFI's banner project, Alay sa Ginhawa at Kalusugan or Alaga Ka. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. That's @HealthFutures. Also, we're on YouTube. That's @HealthFutures as well. And follow our LinkedIn page in linkedin.com/company/health futures. And once again, thank you for staying until the end of the program. Alam ko marami ho kayong natutunan and we hope, of course, you will attend on our next webinar series. Again, this has been Nurse Natalie, your facilitator for today's webinar, Clearing the Cloud, Holistic Interventions for Post-COVID Brain Fog. Have a great day and see you everyone. Salamat po.